90% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
So we're doing a new feature here, sort of on the Rebels, called Book Club. We realized that while we talk about writing a lot, we don't talk as much about the books that we love to read. And before any of us were bloggers or authors, we were readers, and that is where our love of writing came from. So, on that note, I'm going to tell you about a book that was kind of my first book that I ever fell in love with as a child. And it was written in 1979, which is long before most of you were born. I probably read it when I was about 7 or 8, so it would have been early 80s. And it's called Help, I'm a Prisoner in the Library by Eth Clifford. It's a middle grade novel, not very thick, early middle grade I'd say, and it's about two girls and their father who are in a car in Indianapolis. They're traveling to visit relatives. It's the middle of a snowstorm, and Dad runs out of gas because he can never remember to fill the gas tank when he needs to. So he leaves the girls in the car and says, "Stay here, I'm going to walk to the gas station we passed a few miles back." Only the little sister, Jo Beth, has to use the bathroom desperately. So she and older sister Mary Rose go into the nearest building, which is an old mansion turned into a children's storybook library museum, and to use the bathroom and accidentally get locked in. So I want to read you just a short little excerpt from the book that I think really shows both the humor and the sort of slightly scary mystery that's happening. At this point, the girls have realized that they are locked in the library. The lights have gone off because the librarian locked up for the night. And they have these sort of like blue emergency lights on. But Mary Rose, the older sister, is very level-headed. And she is trying to get a hold of the police to tell them that they are locked in this library. Meanwhile, her little sister, Jo, has written a sign that says, "Help, I'm a prisoner in the library." She's flitting in the window. And this is Mary Rose's second attempt to get somebody to pay attention to her on the phone. "Aren't you the same little girl who just asked for the police?" "Yes, but they hung up on me." "Is your mother there?" the operator asked. When Mary Rose said no, the operator wanted to know, "Is your father there?" "He went to get gas. See, he waited until the tank was empty." "Is there any grown-up in the house at all?" the operator interrupted. "That's what I'm trying to tell you. Why didn't people listen?" "Nobody's here except me and my little sister. We're locked up in the..." Without warning, the phone went dead. No sound came from it at all, not even a hum or a dial tone. At the same time, the lights went out and the room was swallowed up in darkness. Jo Beth called from the window in panic. "The lights just went off across the street!" She started to run towards her sister. Mary Rose could hear her banging into things as she tried to find her way back to the librarian's desk and Mary Rose. The two girls crouched behind the desk. "I wish the blue lights would come back on," Jo Beth whispered. "They were spooky, but they were better than nothing." "The power line must be down." Mary Rose didn't feel nearly as brave as she sounded. But she was 10, and her sister was only 7. "Stop shaking, Jo Beth. Just think of it this way. We can't get out, but nobody can get in either, so we're perfectly safe." Jo Beth relaxed a little. "I wouldn't mind so much if it wasn't so dark." Even at home with the whole family there, Jo Beth liked to have a small lamp on all night. Things came out at you in the night when everyone was asleep, but not so long as there was the tiniest bit of light in the room. "Maybe you can find a flashlight in one of these drawers." Mary Rose ran her fingers across the desk and down one side. She pulled a drawer open and slid her hand around inside. Pencils, small pads of paper, paper clips. Wait a minute, what was this? It smelled like chocolate, a candy bar. "I'm starved. We never had supper," Mary Rose said. "So am I, but we'd better not eat it. It could be poisoned." Jo Beth could hardly wait to tear off the wrapper. "I'll taste it first," she offered nobly, "just in case it is poisoned." Can't you ever stop play acting? Why would a librarian keep poison candy in her desk? Honestly, Jo Beth. While she was talking, she continued her search. In the very last drawer, she found a key with a tiny flashlight attached to it. "What can you see with that?" Mary Rose didn't bother to answer. Who could ever satisfy Jo Beth? She was just about to ask her sister for her half of the candy bar, when without warning, her hand was seized by Jo Beth's nails were digging into her flesh. "I heard something weird," Jo Beth said, lips against her sister's ears. Shh, listen. Something's flying around in here. Something big. JoBeth was right. Mary Rose could hear it too. Whatever it was making a strange rushing noise fairly close by. Bats! JoBeth screamed. At the same time, a harsh voice demanded, "What's your name, child? What's your name?" JoBeth tried to disappear under the desk. "Bats!" she repeated in terror. "Bats don't talk." Mary Rose licked her lips and swallowed. She forgot about the flashlight in her hand. Turning toward where she thought the voice was coming from, she replied, "I'm Mary Rose, and this is my little sister, JoBeth." "Don't talk to it," JoBeth begged. "Off with their heads," the same harsh voice ordered. "Off with their heads." The voice seemed to be moving away. Mary Rose knelt beside her sister. "Keep down. I'm going to turn on the flashlight and see who's talking." "No, don't! I don't want to see it!" But Mary Rose had already pressed the on button. She began to giggle. "It's a bird, JoBeth. Come on, you can look now. It's a mynah bird." "Like the one in the pet shop?" The bird ruffled its feathers, its head to one side. It remarked, "Say, how do you do?" "How do you do?" JoBeth grinned. Without thinking, she began to eat her sister's half of the candy bar. When she realized what she was doing, her face turned red. "Oh, Mary Rose, I'm so sorry." She didn't know what Mary Rose was going to say, because that exact moment there was a heavy thud over their heads, as if someone had fallen down. The moaning started almost at once. So, if you've never read this book, and I'm guessing most of you haven't, I suggest you seek it out. It's a really fun read. They have a lot of adventures in this ramshackle old mansion turned museum library, and this was the book that inspired me to read more as a child.